friends, welcome to Moxie Gardens. I'm Mike Toomey, and today we're headed to the backyard. We're going to do some things, but real quick, look at all the blues and greens, yellows. Isn't that a good look? We're up in the front yard. We're going to head to the back. Not 100% sure what I'm working on in this video yet. Just made it outside. It was Halloween yesterday, and we had a lot of friends and family over last night. Great turnout, handed out a ton of candy. But right now I wanted to kind of share with you guys the sun, the way it shines in, and you know we're working on this greenhouse. So I just kind of wanted to give you a view. Gotta be so chilly today. 47 is the high. I think right now it feels like 32. I think we're hovering right around 36, 37, something like that. So we're gonna take a look at the garden, but I really want you to see the sun shine through here. And I think we're gonna put some tarp on the chicken coop. We're gonna start buttoning that up. And we've got some other things, but let me just turn this around because I'm distracted by how pretty this looks right now. Minus the view of my construction site right here. Look how, I just love that window that we've created between the trees and the sun and the backdrop. And I would be lying to you if I said I knew it was gonna turn out like that, but we had a pretty good indication if we kept that grassy area open and allowed that eastern sun to come in and shine on the garden, we'd have something pretty spectacular. So, but you can see here, we are working on our greenhouse, and you see the back window, it faces the east. It's gonna turn out so freaking awesome. Excited, so excited. I'm gonna give it a little bit longer today before I start hammering, because a lot of people were up late last night, neighbors and whatnot, because of the Halloween. But look how much fun that is. Try not to get the sun right directly in the view, but look at that. See how the sun just shines right in there? I'm gonna leave yep, there's the sun. I'm gonna leave that opening up top, and we're gonna put that clear plastic on, that fiberglass, and then we'll just allow the sun to kind of shine through here and you know, warm this thing up during the winter time, and in the summertime the trees and everything will work as a partnership to keep this garden greenhouse both warm and lit. But look at this view. Oh, I just absolutely love this view. You come through the moon gate. You can pick anywhere in the garden. If you're creating your garden, pick spots throughout that create windows into a whole new area. Look how great that looks. Won't be long, like I said, won't be long before all of our trees and stuff start to go dormant. And what's going to be unique and fun about this is the first time I've ever done this many videos, so you guys are going to get to see the transition. If you started following us earlier in the spring and you've seen the garden wake up, you're about to see all the housing, all the properties that are around us. You can't even tell right now, other than this one right here. But you guys are, it'll boggle your mind how we got to this point, because right now you only see 1 or 2 homes, and it's going to be a dramatic change as the season progresses and we get into the colder months, snow. There's going to be so much interest in the garden. It's winter interest. It's going to be fun just to kind of see it. And if you're brand new to gardening, you can kind of you know, borrow some things that we do here in the garden. And if you just live vicariously through our channel, you guys can just continue to pay attention to all the things that we've got going on here. But I think it's going to be fun. Our chicken coop right over there, we're going to head over there, put some plastic on it, and I'll probably talk about some other things that we're going to do. I know typically you want to lead off with what you're going to do in a video, but I'm not 100% sure yet because the neighbors and stuff are still sleeping, so I'm kind of rambling. Let's go check on the chickens. I know I'm going to feed them a pumpkin today. That'll be their first time ever seeing pumpkins for sure. I think they're roughly 3 months old. So let's get a pumpkin and go feed them. Hey girls. Hey girls. Okay. You guys want a pumpkin? Okay, so they say when you give them a pumpkin to kind of carve in, oh, yeah, looky here. Kind of carve in a little bit. Doesn't mean you have to put a face or anything, but we'll play with it a little bit. And this will help them kind of get started. You guys aren't as scared at all, are you? We'll kind of do this, rough it up a little bit, allow them to kind of get used to it. Doesn't look like they're scared at all. Yeah. We might just do that just to see how it turns out. Maybe give it a little bit bigger eyes. You guys excited? Huh? My wife named the Polish chicken, the one with the funny head, Pua. So that's the only one so far that has a name. But looks like they're not scared or anything. So we'll keep a look at this and see. We'll see how it turns out. I had to go get a bigger jacket and my head cover because it's a little bit chilly out here in the breeze. Girls want that? Isn't that fun? Okay, we're gonna let them have at it. I've got some plastic we're gonna put on the windows, and then we'll check back in just a little bit. Is that fun? What is that? Okay, I'm getting up. Let me scare you. Well, they were making a pretty good effort at this. Little pumpkin, you can see where they chipped away a little bit. But they got super curious whenever girls are curious, aren't you? You think it's time to eat some grub worms and mealworms. But we got this pretty much done. Pretty simple. Let's see if I could turn around. I even put some plastic over their nesting boxes. This is my understanding. I've said this a million times, but if they are not at that nesting stage, which they're not, only a couple months old, if they see the nesting boxes, they can go in there and then they'll use that as a roost area, which ultimately leads to them not wanting to use that as a nesting box. So I just covered that up. It has nothing to do with insulation or anything. Just I had two boards. You can still see one behind there. I had another one. It's up in here in my cubby hole, and we had it covered, and I took it off because I was curious. But I seen some feathers in there, and it doesn't mean that they're necessarily in there. Just means that they might have been curious on our rainy days last week, and so they got in there kind of goofing off. So anyway, we got the windows covered. You can see here we just used the 1x2 furring strips, and ultimately what that is leftover, a remainder leftover of the some things from the greenhouse. Some of you who are novice at the raising chickens and covering up your coops. I can tell you a lot of you would have put plastic on the outside. I did not, because I don't want all the drill holes and everything over there. I still want this to look good back here. So we'll see. This will be my first year doing it, but we put the plastic on the inside. And we'll see how it turns out. Maybe I'll come back to regret it, because maybe the snow will blow in there and then kind of rest on there, melt over the time, and then run down the walls. We'll see. If so, then I'll come back and I'll do some more, but I didn't want to tear this up, all the efforts we went into getting this to look good. So it looks like we still need to figure out what color. I don't know if I want to do red there or the trim color. And then you can see it's kind of a rough spot right there. That's because I was going to put like a little design in there. And then I have the board over that just for security purposes, because I wanted to see if any predators did finally penetrate. We still got all of winter to go, so we'll see. But I just put that there for safekeeping, but those are nesting boxes on the next side, and so you just pull that lever down and then you can get straight to the eggs without having to go in. And Pua, that's not the freaking funniest thing. But anyways, Pua's excited about the whole deal, it looks like. So we're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess we are down to 6 chickens. We did gift 5 of them to a farm, and they needed a rooster, which turned out perfect. So our rooster is now going to have the run of whatever property they're on. But they seem like really nice folks and have a ton of chickens themselves. They just had a rooster that was not playing nice with the hens, so they wanted to try their hand at this one. But look, they look good. They're really healthy. It's so exciting. That being said, that's that part. I've got a fire over here brewing. We'll go take a look, see if it's, oh yeah, the smoke's coming through, so the wind is hitting it pretty well. But we'll take one last look at the garden from the end view. Look at that thing just whistle out of there. Oh yeah. Nothing better than the smell of firewood in the fall. And it's going to kind of, I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of smoky throughout the garden here. And I love that smell. And since I'll be working on our greenhouse today, I'll be able to set the mood for myself. But look how fun this is. I don't know how many more mows I'll get, but the season is definitely winding down. You can see all the colors transitioning. Look at the colors of the tree. I know we just did a little silent tour, but I just can't get enough of the colors and the look of the garden. And like I said, I hadn't come to you guys in a while, or maybe ever in the fall, because the garden just kind of dies down and I don't know what people are interested in. So just kind of always left it as is. We come to you in the spring and sometimes in the summer, and here we are now. You'll get to see the transition of what the garden really looks like through all the 4 seasons, hopefully. So I'm thinking the bird houses that I built it's awesome, first of all, but I'm almost curious if I shouldn't take those down for the winter time, because I am worried about, heavy snows. So we don't necessarily get a whole lot of snow, but when we do, we can sometimes get those blizzard conditions and quite a bit of maybe a 10-12 inch drop, and that be a whole lot of weight to bear on the braces there. So it might not leave those up during the winter. We'll see, but isn't this a gorgeous look, where the way the sun just plays so nicely with the colors and the movement from the breeze on the trees, all the layering that we've got going on. There's different humps of this and that and different colors. It's a really nice look. Super exciting. I know this is probably redundant, because if you've watched our silent tour, but I just can't get enough of all the views and the looks. And if you can imagine this winter, when we start to get snow, all the hardscape throughout the garden, it's just going to have so many opportunities for a really good view throughout the garden, with snow resting on top of things or heavy frost. It's going to be a good time. Can't wait to share that with you, because I get to see it all the time. Now, one thing I do I am gonna have to figure out is, let me get turned around here. If you follow me for any length of time, you know that we usually set up a trough on a 2 foot, maybe 3 foot board. In fact, it's still behind the shed, but normally it sits right there and we get to watch all the birds and squirrels and everything come in all winter long because of all the dormant trees. We got a straight shot from our porch. And so I don't know where I'm gonna go with it. And you say, well, just pluck it right there or just pluck it somewhere in here. But if you've ever fed your birds, once all those bird seed droppings and all those seed drops and all the shells is shucked. Hi guys, hi, how are you? Oh gosh, you had a sleepover? You had a sleepover? 3 days? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love kids. I just love kids. We won't go into that. Anyway, so if you're wondering where the the seed droppings and everything, why not just put it here? Well, if you've ever planted underneath a seed dropping, anything you planted probably not coming up because it gets so compacted and it's a rough space. So from our porch there, I could set it in here, but then where we typically have our coleus right through here, that would be a tough sell. And then all those seeds would be right underneath our red bud here. So yeah, I've got to find a spot. I have done it in the past right here, but now we've really planted that up. In fact, last season I had moved it over right where about the Brunner is at, and I had to rototill that up pretty good just to break up all that stuff. So because the hostas that were there the season prior did not come up because it was so compacted. But anyway, I think we're doing really well here. Maybe I go in here somewhere where the rock landing is. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Eventually I'll get to that point where I can see from the porch and we'll find a good spot. Look at that view. It's gorgeous. Well, friends, I'm gonna start on this greenhouse and hopefully bring you a Sunday video. So happy Saturday to you, friends, and hopefully we bring you some major progress tomorrow. Anyways, thank you for watching. We'll see you folks on the flip side. Bye-bye now.